I went and saw Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, that's right. You actually made it this time.
Well, I didn't make it to the Friday showing.
Well, you didn't make it to that one, yes.
But that was by my own doing because I was so exhausted from the week. It's like there's no way I'm going to be able to do 3 hours at this place, and I went to bed instead. And then when I woke up, it was Saturday.
Yep.
So from Friday afternoon to Saturday at 1 p.m., I was sleeping. It was just, I had physically broken down. It's like, I can't do this. So I skipped the movie. I tried an hour before the movie was to start. I tried to cancel my tickets and refund, and it wouldn't let me do it.
That's nuts.
AMC
An hour before?
An hour before. AMC wouldn't let me cancel.
During opening weekend of the movie that was supposed to make like $1 billion, you think they'd be like, sure, we got someone else who'll buy that ticket right away for you.
There was no option on the app to cancel the tickets. So I was kind of pissed at that. So, that's $25 that was gone. So I I went on the app and found a ticket for Sunday.
Yeah.
So I go on Sunday, and that cost about $25 too, and that's the ticket plus ordering your concession ahead of time so that it's ready by the time you get to the theater. So I go to the theater. Usually it has a huge, monstrous parking lot, so there's never a problem finding a parking spot. But there was this time around. So I'm driving around for 10 minutes trying to find a parking spot. So finally, I get to a spot, and it's not close to the entrance of the theater. It's a back way a bit. So I park, I get out, and I'm walking down the main aisle, the thoroughfare, if you will, to the theater. And there's a lady, several cars up, walking ahead of me. And I see 3 school buses pull up. And all these gaggles of children just coming out of the buses here. And not using my inside voice, I went, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And I didn't realize I said it so loud that the lady who was quite a bit ahead of me turned around to turn and look at what I was pissed about. Yeah. And she looked at me, and I went, sorry, and I just pointed ahead, and she turned and looked, and she went like this. She threw out, she saw all the school buses. This is an early Sunday afternoon. Why is there a field trip to see Black Panther? But here we are. I get to the front of the theater. I'm going to walk in. There's just hundreds of kids everywhere. And I have my, the QR code on your app. I'm like, I'm not going to get in time because they're trying to scan in all these children. Yeah. So one of the side doors opens. This lady goes, if you have tickets and everybody and you're not with them, come over here. So great. Bypassed all that, scan, go. Walk over to concession in the cubby. There's my soda. I just go to the Coca-Cola Freestyle machine, get my beverage, and then I walk to the theater. As I'm walking to the theater, actually, you know what? I forgot I had some photos I can show you here. But this is as I was getting close up to the theater. The other 2 buses had already pulled off to go park, and the third one's about to go. They just let all the kids off by the time I got to the front there. So just wanted to show you, that was a thing. Go to the theater. There's armed officers standing outside the theaters that are showing Black Panther. And you know that they're armed officers because they're wearing the vest that has the yellow lettering across that says armed officer on it. Yeah,
you sent me the picture of them, and I was just like, Jesus.
So I was looking around like, what happened? Something must have happened that this is necessary. Okay, is what it is. So I go into the movie, and I'm going to my seat, and there's a guy, like, they're grouped in 2 seats, right? They're the custom, you can do your custom seat selections when you buy your tickets. The recliners, there's sound. It's the Dolby cinemas, which are fantastic. So there's this guy there. If I'm looking at the seat, he's to the right, and he goes, "Hey," he's like, we kind of got our tickets last minute, and like, could we switch seats so my nephew can sit next to me? I go, "Oh yeah, that's fine." So he's right there. I was like, I'll sit next to him, and he goes, "No, over there," and he's pointing to another seat over. I went, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "We have last minute." And I looked at the app, and I told him, I said, "No, you didn't. Because when I bought this ticket last minute on Friday night or Saturday afternoon, whatever it was, I said, this was the only seat left in the front row here in the middle. Yeah. So you had already bought these tickets." So he's trying to con me into switching the seats with him, and now I don't want to sit next to this asshole if his nephew's over there,
No,
he bought other tickets, so the kid's down the row. So worked the thing. The kid's in my seat. I'm in the seat next to him. Whatever. Fine. Watching the movie. Trailers go through. Movie's going on. Movie's fine. There's a lot of good action sequence, but there's a lot of talking. It wasn't
it's a
terrible,
long movie, right?
It's almost 3 hours. It's 2 hours 47 minutes. And the movie's fine. It's a better Marvel movie than a lot of the others. A lot of dialogue, a lot of stuff going on. Very self-contained. I'll say this. Usually Marvel movies are setting up other things while you're watching everything. Unless it's a big kind of conclusion movie like Endgame or something, you get other stuff that shows up in the movie that'll mean something down the line. Now, there are some things in this movie that will mean stuff down the line, but it wasn't obvious about it, saying that, oh, you know, they're bringing in something that you already know and it's setting up this. It was pretty self-contained. Yeah. There's a mid-credit scene, only one, so if you're going to go see it, you don't have to wait for the very end of the credits to get the second one. There's just one in the middle. I'm not going to give it away right now, but you go and you watch the movie. There's a short produced credits to fit the movie, and then there's the mid-credit scene, and then you can be done. The mid-credit scene also is very self-contained. It wasn't going all over the place, or what does that even mean? Who are these people? What's going on? It ties into the movie you just watched. So this was interesting because they've never done this before, where everything is all within the same motion picture that you're watching, right?
Yeah.
At some point during this movie, you have to go to the bathroom. So there's a ramp-up scene, very, very minor description of it. They're getting ready to get everybody in Wakanda to go on this giant boat and go into the ocean. That's it, right? So they're getting the armies and the nations ready to go to war. Mm-hmm. I'm like, this is going to take a while for the setup. I'm going to run and go to the bathroom. I get up, I go down to the end of the aisle, and you know how they have the giant wall there so that it wraps around for the stadium seating, right? As I'm walking down the stairs, I look over the wall, armed guard leaning against the wall watching the movie. So I'm like, there's one in the theater and one outside the theater, and then outside the other theater. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. So I tried to snag a photo inside the theater, but it didn't really come out. So I had to wait till as I was leaving here. And this is the other photo that I have here for you.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. The guy texting, hanging out there.
Right. I can't get this thing to. It's being difficult. But anyway, so yeah, he was just leaning in there, and and by chance, by the big cardboard cutout in the lobby for the movie. But it was guys like this that were all over the place for the movie. So it's like, what did they think was going to happen here? Other people told me in other theaters they had nothing like this. Somebody told me. In New York, all the AMC theaters have armed guards, which I'm not in New York, so I don't know. I wasn't aware of this. I don't know if that's true. I've never seen armed guards. I'm sure they have security there, but I've never seen them front and center this visible for all the showings of Black Panther. I'm like, what did they think was going to happen here? Something, but
who knows? Maybe they had a threat and they didn't want to worry anybody, so they just put some guards out there. I mean, who knows, dude? There's been a bunch of mass shootings in movie theaters in the last 10 years, so that shit's crazy, dude.
Well, they were all over the place. I have no idea what was going on, but saw the movie. No projector problems, no other issues. It was a relatively uneventful experience going to a movie for once for me. Usually they're all disasters or something ridiculous happens. But Black Panther wasn't bad. If you're on the fence about going to see it, if you got time for this weekend or Thanksgiving, worth the time to go and see that if you can handle a 3-hour movie in the theater.